the first weekend in June, I can't remember whether it was 2005 or 6, I moved into that building, and it was just beautiful. I had made the decision that I wasn't going to take anybody in to live. It was going to be all outreach, but living in the building. And so I moved in there, and the people that knew me were excited, and the people that didn't know me thought I was an undercover cop or who knows what. And it was nervous. I was nervous the first 2 or 3 days. I just didn't know where I stood. But quickly made friends with everybody in the building. And twice a week I'd have my prayer group, and all the kids from the neighborhood would come up. I had guys there that, again, had dropped out of school, had been in gangs, had been selling drugs. I had one group that I ran for the big kids, and then another group for the younger ones. And I had been working with a church nearby, and the pastor of the church let me do all the religious instruction. And one time he came up to the building, and he was going to come up and pray with the people in my apartment. And one of my guys, Arrow, had been stabbed, and there was just blood stains all over the building, and the cops wouldn't let us in. So we didn't get to have a prayer group in the building that night. We ended up going back to the church. And so I was in this building in June, and by April, the following April, we had 19 kids from the building baptized. And 7 of them made their first Holy Communion, 7 out of the 19, in one ceremony. And it was just absolutely beautiful. And I would take these guys, and we'd just pray the rosary twice a week and sing and worship Jesus and give them a little teaching and give them some cookies or some pizza and hang out and have fellowship, and they loved it. I used to go to the front door and open the door and say, well, it was nice seeing everybody, because if I didn't, they'd still be there today. They would have never left. And they used to say, yo, you kicking us out, son? I said, you're right, I'm kicking you out. See you Thursday, bro, get out. And it was really beautiful. And so after that building, I did a year there, and then I said I'd like to try another building close by so that I can still follow up with these guys and also see if I can reproduce the same results by God's grace and the gift of the Holy Spirit. And so that happened. I ended up moving to 165th Street and Woody Crest Avenue. The building was horrific. Lots of drug addicts in that building. Lots of drug addicts, and across the street a building filled with drug dealers. And they used to all hang out on the corner in front of the mailbox and the Chinese food spot. I'm giving away too much information here. But anyway, and these guys, the drug dealers, did not trust me in the beginning. And I remember one guy who ended up being a close friend, he just stared me down. He ripped through me with his eyes. He just was so distrustful. And later on I'd have the opportunity to pray with him, but same thing. We were in that neighborhood for a year, and ended up getting 7 kids from the neighborhood that year baptized and made their sacraments, reached out to tons of drug dealers, tons of evangelization, going into families, praying with the families, bringing food to families that didn't have food, helping young people to find work, visiting people when they got locked up and imprisoned. Just this network of little volunteers. I never at that point went nonprofit. It was just grassroots love and action. That's it. I didn't want to complicate it. I didn't want to get involved with the people. I just wanted to live the gospel. You know, when I was hungry, you gave me to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. When I was sick and in prison, you visited me. That was it. I wasn't there to go nonprofit. We had people that sponsored me. We had a couple of people that gave, and was able to do my thing. And it was just powerful.